Vibrate Higher Daily, Chapter 2, page 71. Terrains we journey through. The journey itself is a sacred and necessary part of the process not to skip, and yet it can be difficult to surrender to and begin. This section is to mentally prepare you for the journey ahead, where eventually you may find yourself immersed in one of the many terrains of life and journeying. Preparation allows you to more readily accept the mission and proceed with skill and higher awareness. And after a while, you don't just try living from a new vibration, you begin to own it, and the path becomes doable, effective, and rewarding. A new you comes into being. Praise be. The not-so-easy parts of life are part of the journey too, and this is where a lot of people come to a halt and are tempted to quit. Sometimes they do quit or resist, tune out, or lose hope. But in order to arrive where you're going, you have to keep going, through the different terrains, to the other side. Our ability to accept the mission and do the necessary work to get through is life-altering. The daily process is not about chasing perfection, it's about rising every day from wherever you find yourself and becoming better, doing better, from that place. When the journey is long, journey fatigue, burnout, mental exhaustion, and a need for recovery may arise. And through, I've found that it's higher purpose, my spirituality, and honoring my self-care routine that empower me to overcome those things. I can continue to move through, while no longer being overcome or hindered by the process. Think of a long road trip. You leave a familiar place behind, often traveling through unfamiliar wilderness to get to where you're going. You're patient through the middle journey, knowing that you'll arrive in due time. This allows you to relax and flow into the process. Life, spirituality, and your journey all operate in the same way. And although at times you may feel that you have no roadmap, the way becomes visible as you begin journeying. The metaphorical terrains. The mountain. The mountain is your obstacle. It's the thing that feels overwhelming to get around or over. It often causes stress and lower vibrations. The mountain is the emotional heaviness, the burdens, pain, stressors, triggers, obstacles, workload, lifestyle, habits, and people that don't serve your higher good. It's your not-so-positive habits and cycles that are stuck on repeat. It's whatever you're currently stressing about or losing sleep over. It's the thing you feel like you might have a nervous breakdown over. That's your mountain. Vibrating higher is climbing the mountain. As you start moving up, you're able to see life from higher vantage points. With the advantage of higher perspective, you're more aware of your surroundings. Your insight is expanded, and the things you once thought were large become smaller, more viable, surmountable, or at times insignificant to you. On the journey, everyone has to climb and overcome their mountains. Purpose of the mountain. The journey brings you the mountain to strengthen and fortify you, to raise your awareness, to expand your vision, and to build vibrational and spiritual muscle, endurance, and resilience. The mountain is the entry point to self-discipline, renewed strength, and higher awareness, insight, and perspective. The desert. The desert is the place on your journey where it appears you're alone, although technically and spiritually you're not. When you're in the desert, nothing seems to be growing or moving toward you. Nothing appears nourishing. The desert is the period when you're forced to be away from the norm. It's a wilderness experience when you don't see it manifesting or getting nearer. Boredom, loneliness, and even hopelessness can set in if you're not watchful. The desert is also a place where things and people are divinely stripped away. It's a space of solitude, release, and reflection that can, if you vibrate higher through it, become a paradise and oasis. This powerful place of deep refuge is a resting place where you can experience transformation, awakening, and rebirth. The desert is a space of purging and allows for higher connection and alignment with the divine. It's oftentimes a place of lasting spiritual significance. Everyone has to journey through their own desert experience. Purpose of the desert. The desert is the transitional place in the journey where you purge all that you are not and dissolve all that's no longer useful. It is the initiation and entry point into a new vibration of you and your life's purpose, power, and work, the place through which you become your truer and higher self. The storm. A spiritual storm is a divinely controlled experience, event, or condition in your life that can cause loss, confusion, and pain. Yet this chaos is for your higher good and progress. The storm is where and when some level of your life is suddenly disrupted by the winds of change. As a result, you can feel hopeless and left with no sense of direction or escape. Further disorientation and losing of the way can set in if you're not careful and aware of the powerful purpose of this metaphorical weather. Vibrating higher is how you can outlast the storm. While in its midst, you vibrate higher by seeking shelter in, aligning with, and anchoring yourself in the divine. Drawing nearer to the divine, a greater force, gives you spiritual covering and leads to insight, strength, direction, and the perfect peace that Holy Scriptures speak of. Through the storm and afterward, as you move onward, you gain greater resilience and power. Remember that you're never alone in the storm and that it has a greater working purpose in your life. This perspective allows you to endure and outlast the storm in a more empowered way. As a result, the storm elevates you to higher levels within, opening a way for a new direction and higher stability in your life. Storms have 3 stages: the developing storm, the mature storm, and the dissipating storm. Knowing this and recognizing when you're entering or leaving each stage helps you to remain prepared. Keep in mind that all storms pass, the sky is clear, and the sun comes out again. Calming and stilling your mind is a spiritual tool that plays a huge part in calming and stilling the storm. Since the storm is not a physical terrain like the mountain and desert, it can happen at any time during the journey. This is a trademark of its unstable nature. It can happen in any terrain. When this happens, you may find yourself feeling not only alone, but also temporarily overwhelmed. Physical storms and spiritual storms are both created by unstable atmospheres, but they also help stabilize the atmosphere. Whatever is hindering you from moving forward, the storm comes to clear the way through necessary cleansing and purification. Remember, during the storm, that this too shall pass. Everyone has to journey and outlast their storms. Purpose of the storm. The journey brings you to the storm to strengthen you, to clear your path, and to reroute your life. The storm purifies you and helps you develop a higher level of spiritual, mental, and emotional stability and power. The ocean. Life happens in tides and waves. The ocean is a spiritual metaphor for the state and vastness of your emotions and energy. It's the unexplored depths of your subconscious mind, your potential, and the current vibration of your life. Waves represent your inner life, your emotions, vibrations, energy, and moods. Your waves are what you, at any given moment, vibrationally feel and express. Your ocean speaks through your reactions, behaviors, choices, moods, and words. In the course of each day, the waves come and go to the shores of your life, moment by moment, experience by experience, and tide by tide. Tides represent your outer life, the surrounding stimuli that affect your inner waves, such as the people, foods, and energies you come into contact with. Tides show up as either high vibrations or low vibrations, and vary in intensity, like high tide and low tide. Tides are the experiences and circumstances that, with skill, you navigate into, through, and then out of. The various ocean states represent the sliding scale of joy and turbulence in your life. Like the ocean, you are capable of being peaceful, calm, soothing, stable, focused, and balanced, as well as stormy, overpowering, unstable, unpredictable, unfocused, and imbalanced. The ocean is about maintaining higher awareness and balance within and without, so that you don't feel unbalanced or disoriented to the point of sinking too deep. When the mind is at a higher vibration, the ocean within is a place of empowerment, refuge, and relaxation. When the mind is vibrating lower, it's a place of disempowerment, turbulence, and vibrational imbalance. Emotional waves can obstruct your vision and hinder your ability to navigate forward successfully and clearly in life. When in balance, your emotions support your vision, progress, and movement forward, birthing greater strength, courage, and faith along the way. Everyone has to journey through and across their own ocean. Purpose of the ocean. The journey brings you to the ocean to gain inner balance and peace. The ocean moves you into higher levels of balance and self-control. This terrain also relaxes, restores, and purifies you during the process. The ocean washes to shore what no longer serves you. It's up to you to release what goes to shore. Instead of holding on to what comes up, detach and allow the ocean to wash it away. This is how the ocean seeks to initiate you into strength and higher vibrations. The fog. In the fog, you can't see your way clearly. You feel stuck, and you may have to slow down or stop to regain clarity and greater insight. When you're in the fog, your path can be clouded by fear, distraction, stress, and exhaustion. Other people and doubt may distract you, and you may find yourself experiencing spiritual heaviness and lower vibrations. As you vibrate higher, the fog eventually clears, and you break out of any stagnation and blockage in your life. You're able to move forward. Sometimes you have to break from the norm, try something new, and practice lots of self-care to defog your mind and life. But like a lighthouse, you can shine through the fog by seeking the light of the divine and the light within. If you're not aware of and in tune with the purpose of this metaphorical weather, you may find yourself making impulsive and reactionary conscious or unconscious decisions. Like the storm, the fog is not a terrain, but rather a state that can happen at any place along the journey. For example, you might discover a period of feeling immersed in fog when you approach your mountain, and when this happens, you are left feeling both perplexed and overwhelmed by the obstacle in front of you. Everyone has to clear away and overcome their fog. Purpose of the fog. The journey brings you to the fog to gain greater clarity, to purify your mind, to release what isn't serving you, and to offer better focus and direction. It's about finding your higher way through. Overcoming the terrains. When you're growing into higher vibrations, your ability to overcome metaphorical terrains and weather becomes a spiritual art. You'll become more and more skilled and masterful. No longer will you be defeated by what comes. You'll know that it's a sacred and positive process that you're called to journey through. This is essential on the journey, and it makes all the difference between feeling overwhelmed versus feeling like all is in divine order and you're more than capable. You'll remember you're the hero. You'll be more and more poised and in your power. We're each here to prevail over the terrains of our lives in spite of it all, and to accomplish what we're sent to do. Vibrating higher is how we do it. Apply and integrate all the necessary tools that you learn along the way. When you find yourself journeying through a metaphorical terrain or weather, know that it's only temporary. It's an invitation to vibrating higher daily, and each is a gateway, an initiation process for transformation, elevation, fortification, and higher purpose. Whatever terrain you're currently in, see it as a sacred place, a strengthening place, and a resting place. Rest in the process and honor what it has come to do for you. She emerged through it all, transformed. Peace and blessings to you all.